everyone. My name is Juliet Castañares, first year Bachelor of Elementary Education students, and for today's video, I'm gonna share you about the different models of blended learning. Different models of blended learning. There's no reason to feel intimidated by the concept of blended learning. Simple put, blended learning is the combination of teachers' instruction and online technology that enables student-centered learning. And you also know the use of technology frees up teachers to restructure their classroom and teach in new ways. Together, this provides the opportunity for more individualized instruction, meeting each student at their current level and challenging them at their appropriate pace. But that's a broad overview of the blended learning can do. In this post, we'll get down to the nuts and bolts of blended learning models and how they work in classrooms. Types of online communication. There are multiple forms of online communications that people have been using for the past few years. First is emails. This is arguably the first form of communication developed in an online communication method. Second is SMS. It is the common abbreviation of short messaging service. As the name suggests, it is short and instant, usually with 160 characters. They are typically transmitted from the sender to the receiver via phone or the internet. Third is instant messengers. This is the recently evolved, more popular method of communicating. It is more prevalent among youngsters and college students since it features alphanumeric characters, pictorial messages known as emojis. Fourth is forums. Forums are also called discussion boards, and they are usually conducted online. There are multiple users present, and each of the users interacts with each other by posting messages on the same trails and messages. Whiteboards. This application usually works like a physical whiteboard in which one person can be said as a presenter shares the board with other viewers, and we can draw or write while others can see it. And lastly is VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol. This is used to denote any transmission between more than one user. Usually multiple users can use VoIP. Different forms of online interaction. Learning and teaching involves several forms of interaction between different actors. An interaction is defined as a reciprocal action or influence of two people. Learner-teacher. The learner-teacher interaction allows the teacher to help the learner to understand the course's concepts, identify difficulties, and stimulate critical thinking. If necessary, the teacher will adjust his pedagogical approach. Learner-learner. With the growing popularity of active pedagogy or experiential learning, the learner-learner is increasingly valued It has been shown that social interaction promotes learning and has a positive impact or motivation on feeling or connection with peers. Next is teacher-teacher. The teacher-teacher interaction is essential for the development of the profession as a whole. In the context of the digital revolution, in which education and the role of the teacher are to be transformed, the dialogue between the actors in a field is more necessary than ever. Learner content. When the learners are actively engaged with the content or learning material and they assimilate it, then we can speak of a learner-content interaction. Teacher content. In traditional higher education, teacher-content interaction occurs both when the teacher prepares a course and when he or she engaged in research activity. Content. This association may seem surprising at first, but it will have to be done since the content interaction in learning is not only very real, but it is a way forward. Virtual learning environment. A virtual learning environment, or VLE, is a designed space for teaching and learning. For some, virtual conjures up an artificial world that replaces real life. But virtual learning environments neither replace classrooms nor existing educational practices. They enhance them. They add value as they extend the space of the physical learning environment. They provide opportunities to stretch the imaginations of teachers and students alike. Community of Inquiry Model. The Community of Inquiry Model was developed from a study by Garrison, Anderson, and Archer that was conducted in 2001. The model of a community of inquiry consisted of three key elements of an educational experience: teaching presence, cognitive presence, and social presence. See below for specific descriptions of how these elements work together to impact a student's educational experience. Learning Management Systems. A learning management system, or LMS, is a software application or web-based technology used to plan, implement, and assess a specific learning process. It is used for e-learning practices, and it is most common form. Consists of two elements: a server that performs the base functionality and a user interface that is operated by instructors, students, and administrators. Guidelines in moderating synchronous session in chat room. The use of a chat room for synchronous communication requires some set of rules or guidelines for effective teaching and learning to take place in online environment. In the absence of these guidelines, synchronous session can create a chaotic and disorderly class meeting in a chat room. The student close anything in that any time, and the teacher or online moderator may lose control the flow of discussion. The following are simple rules or guidelines to be observed while inside the chat room. First, the teacher greets the students upon entering the chat room. Second, to check the attendance, you may advise to state their name. Third, do not start the class discussion if majority of the students are not present. Fourth, spend time to socialize with students by asking light and friendly questions while waiting the other entering chat rooms. Lastly, advise students not to post their answers unless they are asked to. Instructional Design Model. Instructional design models help instructional designers to make sense of abstract learning theory and enable real-world application. Instructional design models organize or visualize learning theories and principles to guide instructional designers through a learning development process.